This is Group 1, and our topic is same-sex parenting, investment in children. We are researching this topic because we believe there are many misconceptions surrounding the issue. People only become more divided on it when we talk about children. This is why the idea of same-sex couples raising children is still considered a taboo in many areas of the world. By looking further into it, we can get rid of this. There is still a stigma attached to the issue, even in the more liberal societies. A study by Gates in 2015 showed that up to 200,000 children may be living in a house with same-sex parents, and that they were as good as raising children as their opposite-sex counterparts. Many still believe that a child needs a mother and a father. It is no doubt that by researching this, we can draw a conclusion on whether or not same-sex parents can raise and invest in their children as effectively as opposite-sex parents. How does time spent with children compare between same and different sex parents? Using 2003 to 2013 American Time Use Survey data, Pickett et al. Estimated time spent with children with by various associations and a two-tiered cracked toe-bit alternative. They found that children with same-sex parents experience an average approximately 3.5 hours of time investment per day, compared to just more than 2.5 hours for children with a mother and a father in the household. This suggests that children with parents in same-sex partnerships may experience more time investment overall than children of parents in different sex relationships. The findings of the study for different sex parents are consistent with specialization and division of labor in the home according to gender roles. It aligns with research that suggests less specialization in the household division of labor in same-sex partnerships.
So, why do gay couples invest more in their children? Well, Gary Becker suggested that children are self-produced and the total cost of producing and rearing children differs with how many resources are available to the family. Black's research of census data supports Becker's theory. Looking at couples with adopted children, the highest earner in a gay couple earned $10,000 more than in heterosexual couples. Becker stated that higher income leads to higher levels of investment in children. Therefore, this could explain why children of same-sex couples might perform highly in education. Why might gay parents be richer? Black's research highlights how few gay couples have children. 90% of gay couples and 78% of lesbian couples don't have children, compared with only 38% of straight couples. He suggests the reason gay couples are richer is because it's so costly for them to have children. In the UK, surrogacy costs around £50,000, and costs in the US can be as high as £220,000. Black goes further to say, unlike in Becker's theory, there are substitutes for having children for gay couples. In the US, because of the high price of children, gay couples consume more non-child goods. He states that gay couples deciding to live in more affluent areas such as San Francisco is a form of increased consumption in non-child goods.
This paper focuses on children born in the Netherlands, notably the first country to legalise same-sex marriage. Using OLS estimation to measure standardised test scores at the end of primary education and diploma attainment at the end of secondary education, Mazrekards and co. conclude that children of same-sex parents perform better than those of opposite sex. Beginning with primary, column 2 controls for socio-economic variables, such as wealth, and the standard deviation drops. The regression to estimate school outcomes amongst children living with same-sex parents is as follows. Here, H is a dummy variable, which takes a value of 1 if the child lived with same-sex parents for at least 1 year. X represents all the control variables which differ for each specification. Therefore, the parameter we're interested in is beta 1. And thus, assuming the average error term is 0, once we take the school outcome variable for children living with different sex parents from the corresponding variable for children living with same-sex couples, we're left with beta 1, representing the influence of residing with same-sex parents on school outcomes. Column 4 controls for socio-economic variables and only includes children raised from birth. Those from same-sex perform 0.139 standard deviations higher than opposite sex. This clearly shows the adverse effect that divorce has on children, whilst children of same-sex couples from birth perform better than children with different sex parents. Children who live with same-sex parents after one parent usually the biological mother, separates, actually perform worse. The estimation results ascertain that wealth of parents and being raised from birth are both hugely important factors in educational outcome of children from same-sex parents. Using the same estimation as before but for secondary education, column 4 shows that children raised by same-sex parents from birth are 4.8% more likely to graduate secondary school than are children from different sex parents.
This paper by Douglas W. Allen from 2013 investigates the likelihood of children from same-sex households graduating from high school compared to other children using 2006 Canadian census data. The paper concludes children of gay and lesbian couples are only about 65% likely to graduate from high school than children of married opposite-sex couples, hence arguing the opposite of the study by Mazrakaj et al. A further breakdown of the results shows children of gay couples are only 69% as likely to have graduated from high school as children of married heterosexual couples. The children of lesbian couples are 60% as likely to graduate, daughters of gay parents are 15%, daughters of lesbian parents are 45%, sons of lesbian parents are 76%, and sons of gay parents are 61% more likely to graduate.
It is quite hard to say whether one source is better or more reliable than the other. Sample size is an obvious issue apparent in both papers. The Netherlands paper compares around 2,800 children from same-sex parents to over 1 million from opposite sex. And once socio-economic variables are controlled for, and we only look at children raised from birth, this decreases to around 1,400. The Canada paper also has a relatively small sample size of around 8,600 children from same-sex households compared to well over 1 million from opposite sex. The Netherlands paper tracked educational performance all the way up to 2019 for secondary education, so it was able to use the most up-to-date cohort possible to do this. However, the data on the Canada paper may be considered outdated as it measures children from 2006. Regarding methodology, Mazrakaj and Co. do a good job of accounting for the wealth factor that we earlier touched upon. Allen in his paper controls for marital status, parents' education and child school attendance. Even with these controls in place, the results of his study stand. The Netherlands was the first country to legalise gay marriage, but Canada wasn't far behind. This seems strange as to why the educational results are so different, seeing as same-sex marriage should be somewhat of a social norm in each country. Since the Canada paper was on data from 2006 and gay marriage was only legalised in 2005, maybe the study came too soon.
It could be said that simply investigating same-sex parents is too generic. As we have shown, there are varying outcomes based on the many types of family structure. Gay parents, lesbian parents, whether the child is a boy with gay parents or a girl with lesbian parents. Also looking at adoptive children and children raised from birth. Black shows that same-sex parent families tend to have fewer children. Does that have an impact? There are also a multitude of external factors that impact the results. As Black proved, same-sex parents tend to be far wealthier, and Allen hints at the fact that same-sex parents are better educated.
From the Prickett paper, we can conclude that same-sex parents spend more time with their children compared to different sex. However, the sample size for same-sex parents was small and may not be very representative, as respondents of the ATUS were not explicitly asked whether their partner was of same or different sex or about their sexuality. Although both Mazrakaj and Allen leave us with opposing results, they provide us with many factors that educational attainment depends on. The Netherlands paper tells us that educational performance of children of same-sex parents is largely influenced by parental wealth and being raised from birth. The Canadian paper tells us that sons of lesbian couples are the most likely to graduate out of the 4 combinations of parents' gender and child gender. It is to be considered that if we explored this topic in 10, maybe even 5 years' time, would we have more conclusive data? Same-sex marriage is becoming legalised across the globe, from the Netherlands first to Costa Rica the latest. As it becomes more normalised, will we see same-sex parents acting in the same way as opposite sex, or will differences still be notable?